Hi everyone, Jorhena Thomas here with the Girl Security. I am very happy today to be joined by Aislinn Carroll, who is one of our fantastic mentors. Hi Aislinn.
Hi, Jorhena. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. Well, I'm happy that you've joined us today to talk about mentoring and being a mentor and being a mentee at the same time. So Ashlin's going to talk to us as our very first girl security mentor slash mentee at the same time. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like, why she decided to do it, and some gems that she's picked up along the way from being both a mentor and a mentee at the same time in our program. So, Ashton, let me start with my first question, and it's a really basic one. What made you decide to want to be a mentor and a mentee at the same time?
That's a great question. So for me, it was a really natural decision. I was applying and I knew that I could definitely use some help at that point. I was a year out of college and kind of trying to find my footing in the industry that I was in and definitely craved some advice from people who had been in my shoes. And then I just thought there was an option to also be a mentor. And I think that my background from being a sorority girl in college, I'm so used to having the big and the little kind of structure that I was like, there's surely something that I can share, I would hope. And I was very shocked when I learned that was the first ever mentor and mentee. I'm an unintentional trailblazer, if you will. But for me, like I knew that there was things that I could share being in these shoes really recently and being kind of on the ground level of early career stuff. I'm going through things that my mentees are just entering and I'm kind of on the tail end of, or I'm currently deep in the weeds in. And so that's how I'm able to help people who are a little bit, younger than I am in high school and in college.
Excellent. Okay. So, talk to us about what your experience has been like on both ends.
So my experience has been really rewarding. So I have the benefit of kind of stealing from both my mentor and my mentee at the same time. I can get advice from my mentor on questions that I have, and then I can take the advice that my mentor gives me and repackage it for my mentee in a way that's suggestible to her and kind of a trickle down mentorship. And then I'm able to take things that are from my mentee that she's currently going through and kind of getting a visual of what life is like for early college, late high school, people that are entering the industry, and then bring that back up to my mentor who last season was in a more managerial role. So she was managing girls that were around my age, and that has been really powerful for all three of us in a way. And so I think it's kind of fun. And I think it feeds directly into Girl Security's mission, which is phase mentorship, having that kind of network environment. For me, I think I thrive in a little group more than I do really on a one-on-one give and take. This allows me to really give and then really be able to pull out what I need from the experience. And I think that I would dare say, has benefited all of us, my mentor and mentee, all equally.
Okay. Thanks. So, can you talk about some of the lessons that you've learned in both giving and receiving guidance at the same time? You've already talked to us a little bit about the trickle down and the trickle up mentorship, but what else can you share with us? And also, what have you learned about yourself throughout this process?
It's been incredible, I would say. I have grown so much in my confidence and my experience and my abilities. Again, when I first applied to be a mentor and a mentee, I was really feeling kind of shaky footing. I was a year into my career, was transitioning from a job that I didn't totally love, but I knew that I liked the industry that I was in. And so I thought that I could help people that were, going to pick their major and what activities they might look into doing in college, but I didn't think I could really help with the career advice. And from my experience mentoring and being a mentee, I've learned that like my experience is far more rich and valuable than I originally thought that it was. And I've gone through way more than you really take stock because as you live these experiences, you're like, okay, this thing just happened to me. I'll move on from that. But when you're able to take that and apply it to a mentee who's going through the exact same thing and is feeling so uncertain, I'm able to turn to a very anxious girl who I was 2 years ago and be like, hey, it's going to be okay. I survived it. Here's how I survived it and how I could have done better in that situation. And so I definitely feel very empowered about my experience and I'm very hopeful for the future. Having my mentor who has been in my shoes and my mentee's shoes has given me a clear insight to my path going forward. And then in the spirit of mentorship, I think it's hard to kind of explain how that's transitioned to my view on life, but I have kind of become someone who is in any space that I am in going, hey, you would love this opportunity. Hey, this job sounds like it'd be a really great fit for you. Have you considered talking to this person? And it's hard to turn off the mentor mentee thing. I think it makes you far more open to giving and receiving guidance.
Okay, so my last question kind of touches on that. So I was wondering if you do have to switch modes, like now this is mentor Ashlyn, now this is mentee Ashlyn, or if it's all just one ball of awesomeness.
So originally I was really concerned about that and how my attitude would switch because when I first started being a mentee, I was so concerned about being like the best professional version of myself. Like this is a person that could speak my name in the rooms that I'm not in. So you of course want to put your best self forward. And then I also really wanted to look like I had my whole life together for my mentee so she would trust what I'm saying. And from what I've learned is that like people that are young and especially like in this very unique space are very good at sniffing out, when you're not being authentic. And so that's something that's been really important to me is I do a switch, but it's not as dramatic as I really thought it would be. Um, Again, like I do tend to look up to my mentor and do put a best face forward. But I think that empowerment that I experienced from being a mentor has dribbled into my experience being a mentee, where I act a little more mature, but I still look to her being like, you need to tell me like from your experience, what's happening here from your eyes, from your perspective, like what should be happening. And then it's also an issue of not an issue, but an opportunity to listen more. When I'm with my mentee, I thought I would just be like kind of spewing advice at her and guidance. And that's not really how that works in the first conversation. I was like, oh, I just need to listen to exactly what she's saying because you can really pull out more. My first mentor was great with that. And she would kind of listen to me ramble about my career. And then she would pull out themes. And that's how she would kind of help me guide myself because there's things that you don't see when you're in your own situation at the time. And so it's just transitioning from listening to the straight flow of talking that is the biggest transition in that mode. But in both situations, it's just having a really good conversation with somebody, which again, dribbled into your normal life where you're being a better conversationalist and a better listener to be just a better teammate, a better leader.
So it seems like being a mentor and a mentee helped you professionally and personally in so many different ways. And I really love what you said about the expectation to like give out lots of advice. And that's not what it's about at all. I love what you said about it, just helping you be a better listener and a better conversationalist overall. Thank you for sharing, Ashlyn. This has been so great. I really appreciate your time with us today. And for those of you listening to this recording, I want to note that there is a one pager that goes along with it where Ashlyn shares more information, more tips and thoughts about being a mentor and a mentee and the benefits of being both. So thank you so much, Ashlyn, for your time today.
Thank you for having me.